From a public scandal that rocked the royal family to a private betrayal that cut deep, King Charles faced many challenges, but nothing compared to his feelings toward one person who truly tested his patience and resolve. Discover the secrets behind the royal rift that left King Charles fuming more than anything else. Charles's historic reign began in an era of unprecedented change, not just for the British monarchy, but for the world at large. As he took on the mantle of king, he brought with him decades of experience and a well-established vision for the future. His approach to leadership has been shaped by his long wait for the throne, during which he has championed numerous causes and built a reputation for his thoughtful and principled stands on various issues. One of the most significant aspects of King Charles's leadership style is his commitment to environmental sustainability. This commitment dates back to his early years as the Prince of Wales. Long before environmentalism became mainstream, Charles was advocating for organic farming, conservation, and climate action. His dedication to these causes is evident in the establishment of the Duchy Home Farm, which he converted to organic farming methods in the 1980s. This initiative not only demonstrated his personal commitment, but also set an example for sustainable agricultural practices globally. Charles's environmental advocacy has not been limited to farming. He has been a vocal critic of pollution, deforestation, and climate change. His speeches at international forums, such as the United Nations climate change conferences, have underscored the urgent need for collective action to protect the planet. By leveraging his position and influence, Charles has managed to bring attention to critical environmental issues, often bridging the gap between scientific communities and policymakers. Beyond his environmental efforts, King Charles has also been deeply involved in social causes. He established the Prince's Trust in 1976, a charity aimed at helping vulnerable young people get their lives on track. The organization provides support in education, employment, and entrepreneurship, making a significant impact on the lives of countless individuals. This initiative reflects Charles's understanding of the social issues facing the younger generation and his commitment to providing practical solutions. Charles's leadership style is also characterized by his diplomatic engagements. Over the years, he has met with numerous world leaders, from U.S. presidents to Middle Eastern monarchs, and his interactions have often played a crucial role in fostering international relations. His ability to connect with leaders from diverse cultural and political backgrounds has been a testament to his diplomatic acumen. Charles's state visits and participation in global forums have helped strengthen the United Kingdom's ties with various countries, promoting a message of unity and cooperation. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, has been a figure of significant scandal and controversy, particularly due to his association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This association came to light in 2011 when Epstein was first convicted of sex crimes. However, it was the re-emergence of allegations and Epstein's arrest in July 2019 that intensified scrutiny on Prince Andrew. The scandal reached its peak when Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's accusers, claimed that she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew when she was 17. These allegations brought immense legal issues and public scrutiny upon Prince Andrew, severely damaging his reputation. The public and family reputation of the British royal family took a significant hit due to Prince Andrew's involvement in the Epstein scandal. The infamous BBC Newsnight interview on November 16, 2019, where Prince Andrew attempted to clear his name, only worsened the situation. His lack of empathy for Epstein's victims and his dubious explanations, including his claim of being at a Pizza Express in Woking on one of the nights in question, were widely criticized. This interview resulted in immediate backlash from the public and the media, who found his responses insincere and unconvincing. The negative publicity surrounding Prince Andrew threatened the integrity of the monarchy, something King Charles was acutely aware of. King Charles's concern over public perception was evident as the royal family faced a growing crisis. The controversies surrounding Prince Andrew not only tarnished his own image, but also cast a shadow over the entire royal family. The public and media scrutiny intensified, with calls for Prince Andrew to be stripped of his royal duties and titles. The monarchy, which relies heavily on public support and respect, found itself in a precarious position, struggling to maintain its dignity and relevance amidst the scandal. In response to the growing public outcry, decisive actions were taken to limit Prince Andrew's public role and responsibilities. On November 20th, 2019, just days after the disastrous Newsnight interview, Prince Andrew announced that he would step back from public duties for the foreseeable future. This decision was a clear attempt to contain the damage and distance the royal family from the scandal. Further measures followed, including the suspension of his charitable patronages and the removal of his official office at Buckingham Palace. In January 2022, in light of ongoing legal proceedings and continued public pressure, Prince Andrew was stripped of his military titles and royal patronages by Queen Elizabeth II. King Charles's personal disdain for Prince Andrew's actions became increasingly apparent through various reports and accounts. Charles, known for his dedication to duty and the preservation of the monarchy, was reportedly furious with his brother's behavior and the negative impact it had on the family. Sources close to the royal family indicated that Charles played a crucial role in the decisions to limit Andrew's public presence and responsibilities. His frustration stemmed not only from the scandal itself, but also from the way Andrew handled the situation, particularly his lack of remorse and understanding of the gravity of his actions. Despite the significant steps taken to distance Prince Andrew from the monarchy, the repercussions of his actions continued to resonate. The legal battles, including the settlement reached with Virginia Giuffre in February 2022, kept the scandal in the public eye and reminded everyone of the lasting damage to the royal family's reputation. The settlement, reportedly involving a substantial financial payout, was seen by many as an acknowledgement of the seriousness of the allegations and a further blow to Andrew's credibility. The relationship between King Charles III and Camilla Parker Bowles has been one of the most controversial and scrutinized aspects of his life. Their early relationship, which began in the early 1970s, faced significant public and private opposition, most notably from Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen's disapproval of Camilla was well documented, stemming from her belief that Camilla was not a suitable match for her son. This disapproval was rooted in both personal and public reasons, including Camilla's marital status and her perceived lack of decorum. In the early years, Charles and Camilla's relationship was complicated by societal expectations and royal protocols. Camilla, then Camilla Shand, was considered unsuitable for marriage to the future king due to her previous relationship history and her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973. Despite their deep affection for each other, Charles and Camilla were forced to part ways, and Charles subsequently married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981. This marriage, however, was fraught with difficulties, many of which were attributed to Charles's lingering feelings for Camilla. The marriage between Charles and Diana quickly became turbulent, marked by public and private strife. Diana was aware of Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla, referring to it famously in her 1995 interview with BBC's Martin Bashir, when she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." The affair between Charles and Camilla was an open secret, and it significantly contributed to the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage, which ended in divorce in 1996. The controversy surrounding Charles and Camilla's eventual marriage in 2005 was immense. Their relationship had long been a subject of public scandal and media frenzy. particularly following the tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997. Diana's death cast a long shadow over the royal family, and many blamed Charles and his affair with Camilla for contributing to her unhappiness and the circumstances leading to her untimely demise. The public's affection for Diana and their perception of Camilla as the other woman led to widespread criticism and resistance to the idea of Charles and Camilla marrying. The marriage itself, held on April 9, 2005, at Windsor Guildhall, was a low-key civil ceremony, followed by a service of prayer and dedication at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. The event was notable for the absence of Queen Elizabeth II at the civil ceremony, a decision officially attributed to her position as the head of the Church of England, which traditionally disapproved of remarriage after divorce. However, many speculated that the Queen's absence was a reflection of her ongoing disapproval of the union. Despite this, the Queen and Prince Philip did attend the subsequent religious service and hosted a reception for the couple, signaling a reluctant acceptance of the marriage. The effect of Charles and Camilla's marriage on Charles's public image was profound. For many years, Charles had been seen as the villain in the narrative of his marriage to Diana, with Camilla cast as the homewrecker. Their marriage was an attempt to legitimize their relationship and move past the scandal, but it was met with mixed reactions. While some members of the public and the media gradually came to accept Camilla, others continued to view her negatively, and the shadow of Diana's legacy loomed large. The media scrutiny and public criticism that Charles faced due to his relationship with Camilla were relentless. The tabloid press in particular had a field day with the scandal, publishing salacious details and photos, including the infamous Camillagate tapes released in 1993, which contained intimate conversations between Charles and Camilla. These tapes were a public relations disaster for Charles, exposing the depth of his relationship with Camilla and further damaging his already tarnished reputation. Throughout the years, Charles and Camilla were subjected to intense media scrutiny, with their every move and interaction analyzed and criticized. Camilla, in particular, faced harsh public judgment and media vilification. She was often depicted as a manipulative and calculating figure who had schemed to win Charles's affections and disrupt his marriage to Diana. This portrayal was far from the truth, but it was a narrative that resonated with a public still mourning Diana and reluctant to accept Camilla. The marriage between King Charles III and Princess Diana was one of the most tumultuous and publicized royal relationships in modern history. Their union, which began with great promise, quickly unraveled, marked by intense personal and public disputes. The marriage struggles between Charles and Diana were evident from early on, exacerbated by their contrasting personalities and interests. Charles, with his reserved and introspective nature, often found it difficult to connect with Diana, who was more spontaneous and emotionally expressive. Charles and Diana's marriage began on July 29, 1981, in a grand ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral, watched by millions around the world. Despite the fairy tale wedding, their relationship soon faced significant challenges. Diana struggled with the pressures of royal life and the constant media scrutiny, while Charles grappled with his responsibilities and his unresolved feelings for Camilla Parker Bowles. These tensions led to frequent arguments and misunderstandings, both in private and in public. One of the key issues in their marriage was Charles's continuing relationship with Camilla. Diana was well aware of Charles's affection for Camilla, which caused her immense pain and insecurity. This ongoing affair was a significant source of conflict between them, as Diana felt betrayed and humiliated. The couple's public appearances, often marked by visible tension, did little to dispel rumors of their troubled marriage. The media played a crucial role in the unraveling of Charles and Diana's marriage. Diana, feeling increasingly isolated and unsupported, began to use the media as a platform to express her grievances and garner public sympathy. This media warfare reached its peak with Diana's explosive 1995 interview with BBC journalist Martin Bashir. In this interview, Diana openly discussed her marital problems, famously stating, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," referring to Charles's relationship with Camilla. She also spoke candidly about her struggles with bulimia and her feelings of abandonment and betrayal. Diana's candid revelations in the interview were a significant embarrassment for Charles and the royal family. The interview was watched by millions and generated a massive public response, further damaging Charles's reputation. The media coverage that followed was relentless, with newspapers and television channels dissecting every aspect of their relationship. Diana's ability to connect with the public and her willingness to speak out about her personal struggles won her widespread admiration, but it also deepened the rift between her and Charles. The public airing of their private disputes and the intense media scrutiny took a heavy toll on both Charles and Diana. Their separation was officially announced in December 1992, and their divorce was finalized on August 28, 1996. The divorce marked the end of their marriage, but did not bring an end to the media's interest in their lives. Diana continued to be a prominent public figure, while Charles struggled to rebuild his image and focus on his royal duties. The legacy of conflict between Charles and Diana has had a long-lasting impact on Charles's public and personal life. The public perception of Charles as the villain in their troubled marriage has been difficult to shake. Diana's untimely death in a car crash in Paris on August 31, 1997, only intensified the public's adoration for her and their criticism of Charles. The aftermath of Diana's death was a challenging period for Charles, as he faced immense public scrutiny and media attention. Charles's relationship with his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, was also affected by the strained marriage and the subsequent fallout. The boys were deeply affected by their parents' tumultuous relationship and Diana's tragic death. Charles had to navigate the delicate task of supporting his grieving sons while dealing with his own emotions and the public's expectations. His efforts to provide a stable and loving environment for William and Harry were often overshadowed by the ongoing media narrative that portrayed him as distant and disconnected. The enduring legacy of Charles and Diana's conflict is evident in the ongoing public fascination with their story. Films, documentaries, and books continue to explore the complexities of their relationship, often highlighting the dramatic and painful aspects. The portrayal of Charles in these narratives has varied, with some emphasizing his failings and others offering a more sympathetic view of his struggles. Charles's personal life has also been shaped by the lessons learned from his marriage to Diana. His subsequent marriage to Camilla Parker Bowles in 2005 was a step towards finding personal happiness and stability. Despite the initial controversy surrounding their relationship, Charles and Camilla have managed to build a supportive and loving partnership. This marriage has helped Charles present a more positive and relatable image to the public, though the shadow of his past with Diana still lingers. In 1992, a scandal erupted when a transcript of a phone call between Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles from 1989 was leaked to the media. At that time, Charles was still married to Princess Diana. The intimate and affectionate nature of the conversation between Charles and Camilla revealed the depth of their relationship. In the call, Charles referred to Camilla as "darling" and "sweetheart," and expressed how much he had missed her during a recent trip to Australia. The publication of this transcript caused a media storm, shocking the public and adding fuel to the already intense speculation about the state of Charles and Diana's marriage. This revelation was a significant factor in the deterioration of their marriage, which ultimately ended in divorce in 1996. Despite the scandal, Charles and Camilla continued their relationship and eventually married in 2005. Their union is now widely accepted and viewed as a symbol of changing attitudes towards marriage and divorce in modern times. Charles and Diana's separation in 1992 was a highly publicized event that marked the beginning of the end for their troubled marriage. The couple, who had married in a fairy tale wedding in 1981, lived apart for 4 years before officially filing for divorce in 1996. Their relationship was tumultuous, characterized by both Charles and Diana engaging in extramarital affairs and Diana struggling with bulimia. Despite their separation, both continued to fulfill their royal duties, but their personal lives remained the subject of intense media scrutiny. Diana's tragic death in a car accident in August 1997 shocked the world, and Charles went on to marry Camilla Parker Bowles in 2005. While their marriage ultimately ended in divorce, the legacy of Charles and Diana lives on. Diana's humanitarian work and impact on the royal family continue to be remembered and celebrated, while Charles has become a prominent advocate for environmentalism and sustainability. In 2005, King Charles caused controversy by marrying Camilla Parker Bowles, a divorced woman. This marriage broke a major royal rule dating back to King Henry VIII, who famously broke with the Catholic Church to divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. The Church of England, established in the wake of this scandal, has long held that divorce and remarriage are not compatible with the institution of marriage. When Charles married Camilla, who had been divorced from her first husband Andrew Parker Bowles since 1995, he was flouting this rule. The decision was particularly controversial because of Charles's history with divorce, having divorced Princess Diana in 1996. However, public opinion had shifted since Diana's death in 1997, and many people viewed Charles and Camilla's relationship as a love story, thwarted by circumstance, rather than a scandalous affair. Ultimately, Queen Elizabeth II gave her blessing for their union, which took place in a civil ceremony at Windsor Castle. In the early 2000s, Charles found himself embroiled in controversy after being accused of getting involved in British politics. Known for his passion for environmental causes and sustainable living, Charles wrote a series of letters to various government officials expressing his views on issues ranging from farming and rural affairs to architecture and the built environment. These letters, later referred to as the Black Spider Memos, were seen by some as an attempt by Charles, who was prince at the time, to exert undue influence over government policy. Critics accused him of overstepping his constitutional role as a figurehead. The controversy was further fueled by a leaked memo in which Charles described the UK's ambassador to Washington as totally incompetent. This episode highlighted the delicate balance Charles has had to maintain between his personal convictions and his public duties. Despite these controversies, Charles has worked to rebuild his public image. He has become a prominent advocate for environmental sustainability, focusing on issues such as climate change, organic farming, and conservation. His efforts have been recognized globally, and he has used his platform to promote a range of charitable causes. Through initiatives like the Prince's Trust, which he founded in 1976, Charles has helped numerous young people overcome adversity and build better futures. Charles's relationship with his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, has also played a significant role in shaping his public image. Following Diana's death, Charles faced the challenge of supporting his grieving sons while dealing with the public's expectations. His efforts to provide a stable and loving environment for William and Harry have been evident, despite the ongoing media narrative that often portrays him as distant and disconnected. The marriage of Prince William to Catherine Middleton and the birth of their children have provided Charles with the opportunity to embrace his role as a grandfather, further humanizing his public persona. His relationship with Prince Harry has been more complex, especially following Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from royal duties and their subsequent move to the United States. Despite the challenges, Charles has continued to express his support for his sons, emphasizing the importance of family unity. In the early 2000s, Charles faced accusations of interfering in British politics. Known for his passion for environmental causes, he wrote a series of letters to government officials expressing his views on various issues, including farming and architecture. These letters, later dubbed the Black Spider Memos, led to accusations that Charles was trying to exert undue influence over government policy, overstepping his constitutional role as a figurehead. This controversy was further fueled by a leaked memo in which Charles described the UK's ambassador to Washington as totally incompetent. Despite the criticism, Charles remained unapologetic, arguing that as a member of the royal family, he had a duty to speak out on important issues. Over time, the controversy subsided, and Charles continued to champion causes he was passionate about. Prince Harry, King Charles's son, added to the family drama when he told Oprah Winfrey in 2021 about his fractured relationship with Charles after stepping down from royal duties. In the interview, Harry spoke candidly about the pressures of royal life and the intense media scrutiny. He revealed that his relationship with Charles had become strained, partly due to his decision to step away from royal life. Harry felt let down by his father, describing a lot of hurt between them. The interview sparked debate about the monarchy's role in modern society and the relationship between the royal family and the media. Some viewed Harry's comments as brave and honest, while others criticized him for airing the family's issues publicly. In 2007, the Prince's Trust, a charity founded by Charles, was investigated by British police over allegations of a cash for honors scheme. Reports suggested that donors to the Prince's Trust were rewarded with honors such as knighthoods in exchange for their contributions. The investigation, which lasted several months, concluded without charges, but the scandal damaged the charity's reputation and raised questions about the ethics of charitable fundraising. In July 2022, it was reported that Charles accepted $1.2 million from the family of Osama bin Laden. The revelation sparked outrage and calls for accountability, as many found it deeply troubling to accept money from a family associated with terrorism. The circumstances of the donation were questioned, with some speculating that it was an attempt to curry favor with the British royal family. Despite the controversy, Charles and his representatives maintained that the donation was to support his charitable foundation, focusing on environmental causes and sustainable development. Critics argued that accepting money from such a source undermined the foundation's values. Another controversial association of Charles was with Jimmy Savile, a TV and radio personality later revealed to be a serial sexual predator. While alive, Savile was a knight and had a seemingly respectable public image. After his death, investigations revealed that he had abused numerous victims, including children. Savile was close to the royal family, particularly Charles, who sought his advice on several occasions. The extent of Savile's crimes shocked the nation, and Charles's association with him was heavily criticized. Charles also has a reputation for not hiding his emotions well. Some have described him as prone to fits of rage. For instance, when signing his accession proclamation at St. James Palace in London, he was visibly upset by the cluttered table and asked for it to be cleared. Another incident occurred at Hillsborough Castle in Northern Ireland, where he expressed frustration over a leaking pen. These incidents, while minor, have highlighted his emotional volatility, especially in the wake of Queen Elizabeth II's death. King Charles's attendance at the funeral of Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah in 2015 also sparked controversy. Although he attended to congratulate King Abdullah's son, Prince Salman, on his ascension to the throne, Critics viewed his attendance as implicit support for a regime known for human rights abuses, particularly regarding freedom of expression and women's rights. There was little record of Charles advocating for policy changes, which further fueled the controversy. Charles's relationship with his sons, particularly Prince Harry, has been fraught with tension. Harry, deeply affected by Princess Diana's death, struggled with mental health issues, including panic attacks and anxiety. His withdrawal from the royal family and stepping down from royal duties highlighted the strained relationship. While William had a slightly better relationship with Charles, the overall family dynamic remained challenging. King Charles is known for his eccentric personality and demanding nature. His staff must adhere to specific and sometimes unreasonable demands, such as preparing his bathwater at a precise temperature and arranging his breakfast just so. These peculiar habits, along with his preference for traditional over modern architecture, paint a picture of a man deeply attached to his routines and upbringing. Despite his many controversies, King Charles III remains a figure of significant influence. His life has been marked by scandals and personal challenges, yet he continues to navigate his role with a blend of tradition and modernity. As the head of the British monarchy, he strives to balance public duty with personal passions, leaving an indelible mark on the institution he leads.